Now at 6, round 1 brought heavy rains to our area. Doug Hetty has the latest on what to expect from the next rounds. Plus,
officials across the four-state area are preparing for any potential flooding concerns. We'll have that story coming up.
And Jasper County authorities make a water rescue, then ticket the driver.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
We're keeping an eye on some storm systems working through the area. This is KOAM News at 6. I'm Tanya Bach. Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty joins us with a first look.
All right, so we've had a couple supercells that have been affecting the area over the past few hours, and we do have a couple tornado warnings. So one across northern parts of Vernon County and then one across Craig County in northeastern parts of Oklahoma. You can see kind of the general motion. So this one in northern Vernon County is pushing east, northeast at about 30 miles per hour. We're not going to see a whole bunch more. So there's a cold front in our western counties, and it's actually trying to retreat back toward the west. So the farther these storms separate from that front, these guys will start to weaken, but they're still going to stay very strong over the next hour or so. This one's heading toward the metro. This one is going to pass by just north of Nevada, but also very large hail. We're seeing ping pong, upwards of golf ball size hail within these storms. You can see the tornado markers. This one, we have a lot of storm chasers on it, so it's a confirmed funnel right now. The rotation is passing into western parts of Vernon County. So here's Nevada, the town of Metz. Need to go ahead and take shelter, but it looks like the rotation will pass in between Nevada and Rich Hill, a little bit closer to Rich Hill. Let's drop south. Here's southern parts of Craig County, very distinct hail core. Again, just west, just southwest of Veneta. Still has rotation. It is tracking northeast, eventually into Ottawa County. So we want to watch this also very closely as well. I'm going to have a full breakdown because we have big severe weather potential again tomorrow and Sunday. So I'm going to have the breakdown for you here in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Doug. Now check out this video of the storm sent to us by Sarah Wilson. She says it comes from the south edge of Fredonia, Kansas. If you have photos or videos from these storms, you can send them to the KOAM Facebook page. City officials across the four states are preparing for potential flooding this weekend. KOAM's Samantha Walker met with 2 different departments to learn what they're doing to keep people safe.
The water of the Neosho River is rising, and Miami city officials expect it to only get higher.
Neosho, with the watershed up north and where the water's been falling, it's definitely going to come up. Right now it's predicted to crest at 10. With predicted future precipitation, obviously going to go up as we spoke about.
Anderson says the city is predicting the river to come up roughly 16 to 20 feet. He says while there is little to no expected risk to residential homes, the community needs to be prepared for flash flooding.
And then you always get the flash flooding. Anytime you have 2 or 3 inches of rain, hard pressed, you're going to get flash flooding.
Miami city officials say there are multiple ways in which water could find its way into the city. They say they have to think ahead and be prepared.
As the emergency manager, we always do preparation for flood events, for storm events. So we've got staff monitoring that. You know, we have an event this weekend, the Mural Fest. Going to be several people downtown. So we're going to be monitoring the weather and be conscious for increased traffic downtown, people out on the street. We want to make sure that we do keep safe and give people advance warning as much as possible.
Some first responders, such as the Reddings Mill Fire Protection District, are prepared with special equipment to help perform rescues in flood conditions. But they say they hope to not have to use them.
Those that want to go around the barrier and drive through the flood water, just take an extra 10 or 15 minutes and go around, find another route to your destination. You know, we're trained to go and rescue, but it also puts our people in danger when they're having to rescue.
Reporting in the 4 states, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
Miami officials say they expect the water to continue to rise and have flooding concerns through Monday. They say they'll be on high alert until they see it start to go down. Water is and has been rising and falling fast in Crawford County. With the predicted weather ahead, there are many potential hazards already present and upcoming, even more so in the case of rural routes. KDOT says heavy rains makes marking rural routes more difficult due to the potential of cones washed away. Now, trees are also very heavy now with saturated root systems that can easily fall with strong winds. KDOT or the Crawford County Sheriff's Office can be reached in the case of an emergency. Kansas Governor Laura Kelly issues state of disaster emergency for threat of severe storms. The governor issued a verbal state of disaster just after noon today due to severe weather that will impact the state beginning today and continuing into Sunday. This declaration activates the Kansas Response Plan and the ability to expedite state agency assistance to communities in need. And there was also water rescue today in Jasper County. Carthage Fire responded to an incident on CR 180 at Spring River, just northwest of the city. And authorities say a vehicle drove past barriers and across the flooded road. Now, the driver managed to stop on dry land, but had to call 911 as the vehicle was surrounded by floodwaters. The driver was rescued and ticketed for moving and driving around the barricades. Authorities say the car will remain there until floodwaters recede. Pitt State kicks off the annual spring game. Brock Baldridge has more on the gridiron tradition coming up in sports. But first, the city of Miami approves a plan to increase admission prices at the public pool. We'll explain.
Joplin, we're all about.
Hey guys, I want to give you an update on our severe weather that we have ongoing. Still tornado warning, northern parts of Vernon County and then also in Craig County. Both cells are moving east, northeast at about 35 miles per hour. So this one, if it can hold together, will actually push into the metro over the next couple hours. But right now we don't have a tornado on the ground. We have had one earlier in northern parts of Wilson County, but still very defined features. Northern parts of Vernon County and even some cells developing on the back side back into Allen County and northern parts of Neosho. And then we have this cluster, which is moving northeast right along the I-44 corridor. Now, they're going to stay strong for the next hour or so, and then we'll see a general weakening, and let's say after about 7 p.m. Of course, I'm going to have the full forecast for you here in just a bit. Tanya?
All right, thanks, Doug. The city of Miami is looking at future plans for the municipal swimming pool at Riverview Park. The pool was built in the 1930s and was relined 2 years ago for $200,000. Regular flooding of the park, though, has caused damage to the pool and its pumps, costing the city thousands of dollars every year. City Council has now approved a plan to increase admission prices to make up some of the cost. And the Ottawa County Arts Festival gets ready to welcome visitors back to Miami. This year's event, formerly known as Mural Fest 66, will feature circus and street performers, live music, a kids depot, and of course, those famous murals. Though the name has changed, the celebration of the arts remains the same. A little later, the Chiefs make their mark on the NFL draft this season. Brock has that story and more in sports.
Plus, we're going to go over our severe weather chances that we have tonight into the weekend coming up next.
Modeling or elevating.
Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. Not all of Pittsburgh's Art Walk canceled today. We're going to show you what still happened. Plus, we look into what's behind a drop in birth rates across the nation and what the latest inflation data shows for the month of March. Those stories and a lot more tonight on the KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. Here's Doug.
All right, guys, so an update on our severe weather. We still have a tornado warning. Northern parts of Vernon County still holding on to the circulation pretty well. It's a lowering, so this is a radar indicated tornado warning, meaning there's not a confirmed tornado on the ground, but the storm is rotating so it can drop a tornado. It is just passing I-49 at this point in time in between Nevada and Rich Hill. Strengthening cell behind it. We'll see if these two merge across northern parts of Bourbon County. Another one, northern parts of Allen County that we are also seeing strengthening. Now, the cells in northeastern Oklahoma, they have just really fallen apart. We'll see if we get any redevelopment, see if anything gets into the metro. But we're streaming on the KOAM News YouTube, so check it all out there.
And what time was kickoff for the spring game?
Kickoff 7 p.m. Plan is to have it outdoors at the moment. So if need be, they'll move it indoors.
All right, at least they have that backup.
Yeah.
right, well, thanks for watching. We're going to see you right back here at 10. Have a great evening and an even better weekend.
Captioning on KOAM TV.